Guys, welcome back to another episode of Atlas Survival Shelters. This video is going to be very disturbing because a man bought a bunker and spent 3 years of his life in prison, in federal hardcore prison, because he did business with the wrong person.
All the general public of the United States, this guy is bad news. I mean, anybody that's done business with him has been compromised. I mean, they know where everything is and what... He's been doing this for a long time because look at his record there. I mean...
All right, so guys, I woke up one Saturday morning a year ago, and this text was on my phone. I'm going to read it to you. It says, Ron, my name is Steve Pruitt. I own a corporation in Midland, Texas, and I am also a professional drag boat driver. In 2012, I made the mistake of doing business with Clyde Scott with Rising S Company. I lost $250,000 and received 33 months in federal prison for doing business with him. The info I have on him would be beneficial to your business. I would like you to hear what I have to say. Please give me a call at this phone number that I'm going to black out. So I'm like, wow. So I got to look into this. So guys, I've been sitting on this thing for a year knowing that my competitor was basically a snitch, and I haven't said nothing about it, but it's time now for people to know the truth about these guys. Now, you know one thing about a bully, you know what they hate worse than anything? Is a bully hates it when you fight back and you punch him in the mouth. And that's exactly what I'm going to do today. I am going to punch back, and I'm going to punch back hard against a bully who has been picking on me and everybody else in this business for years. And you know why? Because that's how bullies are. And my friends, me and my business have been attacked, and we have been under attack for a while. I have this competitor, and this competitor has a long, shady, criminal past. And I guess they believe the only way to win business is to just do unfair business practices. And what you're going to see in this video is very sad. After I do my talking here, you're going to see a guy who went to prison for 33 months and spent like $1.5 million because he bought a bunker from this adversary that's trying to ruin me and trying to ruin anybody that's a competitor to him. But this guy went to jail because he bought a bunker from this guy, and this guy set him up. Now, he had an AR-15 with the sear pin missing and some other guns that he had doodled on. But the point is, and this is after the guy gave him almost $250,000 for a bunker. Can you imagine? He sells him a bunker and he sets him up. What kind of person does that? You know, I guess Clyde Scott's the kind of person that does that. But the point is, there's some people in the world that you should have a relationship with that you trust, between you and God, between you and your doctor, between you and your husband and wife, between you and your preacher. And really, the last but not least, it is the least, but between you and the person you hire to protect your family's lives by putting in a bunker that's going to cost you a lot of money, okay? So my policy in doing a shelter has always been like this. If you were going to bury a bunch of gold, your family fortune, you wouldn't hire somebody to go bury the gold, would you? You would go do it yourself. I always suggest that you guys, if you're physically capable and you can do it, buy the shelter, do it yourself. That way nobody knows where it's at, nobody can find it, and it's only you and your immediate family. Okay? So this is the option. I always ask people, do you want to do it yourself? Now, I make my shelter so easy that if you can change 4 tires on a car, you can probably put my bunker with my guidance. It's not that hard. I mean, it's just digging a hole, putting a shelter in, packing the dirt, hooking up some pipes, everything bolts together. It's like a kit putting together. It's easier than putting together a bicycle, in my opinion. That's how I like to do it. Now, because I allow people to do that, there's been a few people that have not put them in right and they've had problems. Is there anything wrong with the shelter? No. Is there anything wrong with the way I made it? No. But if you take a properly made shelter and you don't put it in right and you have a problem, I want to tell you guys about 2 circumstances that Rising S is trying to take advantage of me on. One is a bunker that a guy bought in West Texas. He bought 2 shelters. He put it in himself. He didn't put them in right and he screwed them up. I never saw it, but all I know is when he had a problem, he called Gary Lynch at Rising S. Gary went out there and says, I have pictures of your bunkers. If you ever do anything, I'm going to let these pictures out like I did anything wrong. Okay? I'll show you the text from him right now. It's like, I have pictures, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. It's just nasty. The other one was this crazy lady in Idaho. And every now and then, crazy people do buy bunkers. And they're a nightmare. And I will not sell any more of them. Shelters. But a lady in Idaho bought a bunker from me, sent me a deposit of $50,000. I made her a bunker. She says, well, I can't get the bunker in time because my road's going to be too wet. Well, the truth of the matter is she didn't have the money. She goes, so just give me my money back. I said, well, lady, I just made you a bunker. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll sell your bunker and give you a deposit back after I sell it, because deposits typically are non-refundable. Then she changes her mind, says, you know what? I want a smaller bunker so I can get it up the road. So I built this lady a second bunker. And then I call her, say, your bunker's done. She goes, well, I don't have the money. Let me wait a couple weeks. She goes, then I just changed my mind. I don't want it. Let's give me all my money back. I'm like, lady, I just made you 2 bunkers and you want to cancel them on me? I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to be fair about this because deposits are non-refundable. When I can sell one of your 2 bunkers that I just built for you, I'll refund your money. Okay? And they were both oddball size bunkers, a 36 and a 33. Okay, like 3 foot made the difference. So anyway, so she got impatient after a few months because they hadn't sold. So she creates a web page that says, Atlas stole my money. Well, no one stole anything. But she called Rising S Bunkers and talked to Gary Lynch and said, hey, and he's like, I tell you what, lady, I'll take over the website. Let me do it. So you know what he does, guys? He takes that page, he does what's called a pay-per-click. So when you Google bomb shelters, it says on the top, Atlas stole lady's money or something like that. That is the low-down, dirty kind of crap that Rising S does, okay? And they've been doing it for a long time. That's why this video is a long time coming. And to prove it to you, I'm going to show you the text from the lady where she says, Gary Lynch contacted me and says, I will take over your entire website. Just let me take it over. This guy wants to use anything against anybody to try to crush him. So this is the first time they have seen anybody fight back using their own tools. All I'm doing is fighting back with the same thing that they did to me. Except, guys, look, I'm an honest, straight person. I'm dealing against people who are not honest, in my opinion. Okay, you decide for yourself. I can't say anything disparaging like that because it's just how things work. But what they have done is unethical, it's unscrupulous, it's sleazy, it's dirty, it's criminal, but that's how they do business. So that's why I'm doing this video right now. All right, guys, I just want to take a break here because I know this video is going to be very nasty and it could end up in court. I want to tell you what the definition of slander is. Slander is the action or crime of making a false spoken statement damaging to a person's reputation. Therefore, everything I am going to say in this video, I can prove and is fact. Okay? I'm not letting my inner feelings for these people say anything. Everything I'm saying, I can back up with an email, a text, or a fact. Okay? So, I want to make that very clear. Also, I got some of my information from their employee who built their website that is so damaging to everybody. They basically just come up with a way to crush everybody to make everybody look bad so they try to look good. You know, I guess if you had the worst reputation in school, you'd try to bring everybody down to you if you're, you know, it's like a kid in high school, instead of trying to bring yourself up to a level and ask for forgiveness. So I don't know if that's the way. All I know is, my opinion is, this is the nastiest players I've ever seen in any business in my life. This is why they wrote the article about him. Dirty marketing. Seriously, who has stories written about him about their dirty marketing? Okay, not me, not anybody else that I know of. Okay, I mean, it's not like it's Coke and Pepsi. Okay, this is just dirty marketing. Also, Brad Robertson, who designed their website, that was fired or quit, whatever, I don't know. He actually called me up and said, I want to go to work for you. And he told me this. He goes, when Clyde Scott hired him, he says, Atlas is the enemy. You need to destroy them. Clyde Scott, you can't do these things and not get your butt dragged into court for them. You apparently got away with it for a while. So we're going to have a trial on social media. Also, I want you guys to meet Clyde and Gary on a short clip that I found on YouTube from the Travel Channel. In this video, I want you to notice a few things. Notice the hatch that he opens. It's the same as the lady from Minnesota. Notice the door that he opens down below. It's the same as the lady in Minnesota. Notice the thing up in the black thing up in there. That's the overpressure blast valve. The same in Minnesota. This is how they do their bunkers. It is a tornado shelter with what they call a bulletproof door and a PVC air pipe coming out through the ground. If this is what you guys call a bomb shelter at Rising S, wow, that's all I can say.
This is Rising S. Clyde and Gary founded Rising S with the mission to provide top-quality steel bunkers held to the highest standards. And being preppers themselves, they take every project very seriously.
We build extreme products for extreme people.
Most of their clients want the same thing: safety, security, and secrecy.
The greatest asset anyone can have is their family and loved ones. So once you get your bunker in the ground, your highest level of security comes from secrecy. We don't share any of your information with anybody outside of our company.
Tell you what, he had already rolled me to the FBI.
Though this may look like an ordinary wooded expanse, just under the surface resides one of Rising S's 10 by 40 base models. After 12 weeks of construction, the bunker is installed, hidden and fully operational. And though they'll take us on a tour of one of their bunkers, they won't tell us who owns it or allow us to reveal where it is. Being one of their base models, this particular bunker features just the essentials for sustaining life after a major disaster. It may not be flashy, but this bunker will provide its owner with a safe and supported shelter from any hostile man-made or environmental threats.
We build the beds in our bunkers out of the same high-quality material that we use for our doors, the floors, the ceilings, and everything else. You won't find a bed hanging from cheap chains inside of one of our units.
And if you were to go on the internet and Google bomb shelters, or if you even put in Atlas survival shelters right now, what you would find is Rising S bunkers, because they are paying to put their name above me, because that's the kind of people they are. They're trying to cut me off, and they've been doing that for years. Matter of fact, their ad used to say better than Atlas. These competitors have been completely unscrupulous. And I don't know them personally. I've never met Gary Lynch. I've never personally met Clyde Scott. All I know is I have my opinion of them, and it's not good. Another thing about this particular company is they insist on installing every single bunker, and as you'll hear from the guy, they insist on getting pictures of it afterwards.
He wanted me to take a picture of all my guns in the bunker set up. Everything that he does, there's a reason for it, and being hands-on like that so he can see everything that you got.
So you better think about it. If you want someone with a history, a lifelong criminal history, and somebody who would actually snitch on you, do you want that person knowing, putting it in your bunker and then knowing where it is afterwards? I wouldn't. Okay, so guys, you should always think about trying to do it yourself, or let us send one guy in there to do as we usually do, to supervise the job, and then come back out from another state. Okay, there's a reason behind these guys, and it's not a good one. But this video is not to disparage them. This video is for you guys to know the truth. And I'm using their own words. They have created a website, and on their website it says know the truth. Their way of selling shelters is to put everybody down, to scare you into buying concrete, into buying fiberglass, into buying culvert, into buying anything other than their square box shelters. Now, I make every type of shelter. I make round, square, monolithic, domes, concrete. I make everything. So I can give you an honest, non-biased opinion what is the best shelter for you, your soil type, and your high water table, where they just sell one type of shelter. So every other shelter, in their opinion, is bad. That's how they market. Matter of fact, their marketing is so dirty that a newspaper called The Paratus wrote an article about their company and their dirty marketing. This is the article right here. Have you guys ever even seen a newspaper write an article about a company because their marketing was so dirty? So you guys can imagine, I have never seen nothing like this in my life, these guys at Rising S Bunkers. I have been in business for 38 years making everything from steel doors to steel stairs to making bunkers. I've been a steel fabricator since 1980. Okay, so 39 years, so kind of giving away my age there. But anyway, but I have never seen such unfair business practices as I have seen coming from this company, Rising S Bunkers. They want to put everybody out of business, especially me, because I opened a big factory, bigger than theirs, just about an hour away. Matter of fact, I got a text from one of their insiders. In this text, I'll show it to you right here. Basically says, yeah, no idea how much damage your competitor's doing to you. You know about 2% of what he's actually doing. I need evidence of that legal, so you got a leg to stand on. Then it's wartime. Your competitor has probably taken 95% of your customers away with false pretenses. Just give me a day or two. So I responded, what is he doing? I need this evidence to win my defamation, because my intention was to sue him in court. But right now, we're going to have a trial in social media. Guys, if you're interested in one of my bunkers, do me a favor. You can email me, but pick up the phone and call me, because for some reason, my emails aren't coming in like they used to. I don't know if I've been hacked or whatever, but it just seems like I just don't get emails. I'll put it this way. I feel that certain people, if they could hack me and erase my email leads, they would. So give you an idea. But guys, this man that you're about to see, nicest guy. I swear he's the nicest guy, and he could be you. But he bought a bunker from these guys, not knowing that the owner had a felony rap sheet since 1999. 20 years of felony rap sheets, probation for at least a dozen years or more, assaults with deadly weapons. He's a thief. He's got convicted felonies for being a thief. And you know what, guys? People don't change like that for doing it. So all they're trying to do now, do you really believe that somebody that's like that is going to have your best interest in mind, or are they going to cut corners? I'll leave that up to you in another video where I actually compare Atlas versus Rising S. But this video right now is to set up the stage for you to see the man who went to prison for 33 months. So don't cut this video off. Cut it short. Listen to this man's story. I'm saving you guys some pain and some suffering down the road possibly. You should try to do the bunkers yourself, or hire somebody like me that's going to keep my mouth shut. I don't even keep your last name. I never know your last name. When you buy a bunker from me, I don't take a credit card. I don't take a check. We do a wire transfer. I never get your last name. And when I ship the bunker, I never ship it to your address. I ship it to some unknown address, and then it gets diverted to you because you tell them where it's at. That way, I have no physical address where it went. Now, could the FBI figure out where the bunkers are? Probably. They're the FBI or whatever. But speaking of that, the FBI should be looking into these guys seriously. They're shipping bunkers overseas with air systems that are considered protected under ITAR. You got to have a permit to be able to sell weapons overseas. But I will give them credit. They have created a beautiful website. They are full of themselves. They are the best at everything, they say. They're the best at this, best at that. And their accolades from people. Oh, look at this one here. Can you believe that someone actually sent that one about, oh, I was going to get a bunker and I looked at culvert, but I'm so glad I bought a Rising S. Look, guys, if a client actually wrote that accolade and they didn't write themselves, I'll jump off a cliff butt naked tomorrow. Okay? I'm telling you, these guys will stoop to anything to win the business and to, I don't know. I can't say nothing negative because I don't want to be disparaging. I'm just going to speak the truth. But I want you to see some of these articles here. Know the truth. They're putting down concrete here. In this one, they're putting down fiberglass. In this one, they're putting down culverts. I'll put it this way. If it ain't something they make and sell, they're going to put it down. So their method of selling is by intimidating. Listen to this lady right here. Tell her story about why she bought a bunker from Rising S. So when you go to his website and after reading it.
Yeah, you go to your website, and I consider myself a smart consumer, so you have to investigate everybody else's websites. Well, at his website, he does it for you. So what he does is he trashes all the other people's products, their shelters. So after reading that and studying that, and the website is really put together great. So after reading all of that and studying all that and looking at all the defects in other people's shelters, you're only left with one choice, to buy his.
And so that's your conclusion after looking at his website.
Yes, and I'm not a...
So he's done his job by trashing everybody.
Yes, it's very effective marketing.
Okay.
And I mean, it
today's
convinced me...
May 8th, 2018, and I'm here with one of his customers that he's screwed over. Okay, you see what I mean? Right there. She said they did the homework for her. So, guys, like 60 to 70% of the people buying bunkers are ladies like this one here. Just be careful who you do business with. There aren't a lot of people that make shelters. It's like, I feel like it's me. I feel like a David and Goliath right now. I don't have evil intentions inside me yet. So I don't know how to fight these kind of battles with these people. I'm making this video asking you for your help, asking you to stand on the side of goodness and to help do whatever we can to prevent this from happening to other people. But I'm going to let you watch this story on this guy. He's going to tell you a story about doing business with Rising S, going to prison because he didn't know the owner was a felon. They set him up, put an FBI agent on the installation crew, arrested him with like 37 agents. The man almost went to prison for 30 years. They made up a story. It said that he was a head of a militia and was going to, I don't know. All I know is, why would you turn somebody in except to make yourself look good so you have brownie points? And this is one of the points he brings up. How come this guy has all these felony arrests and only a couple convictions but never spent a day in jail, really? Okay? Think about it for yourself. He thinks that they're a federal snitch or he's got some kind of deal as why his last arrest was 5 assaults with a deadly weapon in 2015, but no convictions. You know what? He's got a get out of jail free card. He's working with the feds or something according to this guy. But watch this video. It's very disturbing. Okay, so I'm here. I'm pulling up to the guy's house. All right. Okay. All righty. So I never met this guy, so this is the first time. Hey, how you doing? I'm Ron.
Ron Steve Pruitt. It's good to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, instead of talking to you on the phone all the time, now I can put a face with it.
Well, I'm sorry. Took me over a year to come see you here, but
wow.
Well, this is pretty back here.
Yeah, this is where I relax and hide out.
Wow. This your second house?
Third.
Third, yeah. Well, you got a few houses,
still got
huh?
a place out there in Balmaray.
Wow. So you got fish back here?
Yeah. Hell, I just caught a big old channel cat back here a while ago.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that must be nice to fish in the backyard.
Yeah, I got Mama Goose down here guarding it for me.
You got a goose?
Yeah, it's her third year to come back here and have her little hens.
Are you serious? Oh shit, you do have a goose. Look at that, there's a Canada goose right there.
Yeah, she's used to us now. She don't get upset, and her boyfriend doesn't come over here and try to beat us up.
Oh wow. Oh, you got a channel cat. How cool is that?
That's some good eating right there.
Yeah, but there's a goose right there. Look at that goose. How cool is that? It's sitting on eggs, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, look at it, it's hissing at me.
2 years ago, she had 4 of them hatched, and last year she had 6. And they followed her around and stayed in here till they got big enough to leave and then headed out.
No kidding?
Yeah.
Wow, this is cool. I'd love to live on water and have a goose and a channel cat in my basket.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, I'm sorry it's taken me over a year to get with you. I'll tell you what, while I'm here, if you catch one, I'm going to reel it in.
You bet. I got another rod here for you.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
okay. This is good. So is this your second house?
Yeah, well, it's actually my third house. I've got a place in Balmaray out in Fort Worth, Texas, but I live in Midland, but my daughter lives here in Fort Worth, so.
Oh, okay.
This is where we have Christmas and stuff, so we can get the family together.
Well, this is really nice. This is really nice. So, wow. Well, they got a fire. What's the fire for? It's not that cold.
Fires to soothe my soul.
I know. I love fires. You know it.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, wow. This is really
my
nice.
Place to relax and kick back and think that life is good.
Wow. Do you race around here on these lakes?
We run at Waco. That's the closest place here.
Really?
And we'll run in Marble Falls and San Angelo.
Do you still ride a boat or race boats?
Yeah, I'm currently. I just had neck surgery. Sporting around a broken neck for 25 years, didn't know it, and
wow.
Got
is that from a boat wreck?
No, I was a competition water skier. Is where I got off.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah.
Is that how you ended up boat racing?
Well, yeah, kinda.
Okay.
I mean, one of the racers, Jerry Hardwick, drives Texas Red on that boat too, and
really,
his dad and his uncle were the original racers out of Pecos, and we're just kind of carrying on the tradition. I'm 2-time Lucas Oil World Champion and 2-time.
You were?
Yeah.
Wow.
Two-time driver of the year.
Wow. Well, sorry about what happened to you. So,
yeah,
tell you what, we'll sit down and I'll finally listen to the story.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I hadn't really sat down and told anybody the whole story, and it's been a long time coming, you know.
That sounds like something you want to get off your chest.
Oh man, I tell you what, I didn't hardly sleep last night, you know, just thinking about,
Yeah.
you know, letting this go. You know, it's time to turn it loose and carry on with the rest of my life.
All right. Well, tell you what, we'll try this in the court of public opinion.
There you go.
Okay.
And
We'll
that's,
let, we'll
you
let the
know,
people decide.
It's not really about me. It's about the public out there knowing what he's doing.
Okay.
And, that's really why I'm going to put this out here, and I'm
All right, well,
going to tell the truth.
you want to
and-
sit down somewhere and talk about it?
You bet.
He's showing me around his place. So this is you. That's you in the boat.
That's Texas Red. That's
Now, which
boat
one's you in those pictures there?
right here.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah, and we
Okay. Well, you're a damn celebrity.
yeah,
Be on TV and everything, huh?
yeah, it's been on ESPN. These are.
Well, you wanna do this in here? You wanna talk about this here?
Up to you, man.
We could do that. You might want to turn that music down a little bit.
I kind of feel better outside.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about it outside.
Outside guy, you
Okay.
know.
All righty. We'll
But,
do that. All right. Well, this is neat.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
That's Daryl.
I guess what happened to you threw a hitch in your life. Looks like you had a good life on the water skiing and race
I've been very
boating.
blessed. I've had a very good life, you know, and what I went through was kind of a test.
What type of work are you in?
I'm a registered professional land surveyor. I own a surveying company in Midland. I'm CEO and owner.
So is that what makes the money in the
Yes.
boat racing? Do you make money from boat racing? It costs money to do that, don't it? Probably.
Yeah, we use it as a tax write-off for advertising for our company, but
Yeah.
you want me to tell you what I tell them when they ask me if I make any money racing boats?
What do you tell them?
Well, it's kind of like a bad girlfriend, you know. You stand back, you throw money at them, end up jacking off anyway. They don't ask me another question after that.
Okay. Yeah. This is Sunday, April. This is Sunday, April 7th, 2019, and I'm here with Steve Pruitt. And like I told you guys, over a year ago, he sent me a text. Now, apparently, well, just tell me your story, okay?
Yeah.
And let the
Well,
people. Remember, we're recording.
Yeah. Summer of 2012, I had decided that I was going to put some type of shelter bunker in out at the ranch in far west Texas, out in the Balmorhea area. I had a ranch lease from a guy that I grew up with, had 7 sections out there, 7 square miles.
You know what? Hold on a second. Maybe I'll just hold it and film it. Then I'll set it up and do some dual things too, like that. Okay. I'm getting a low battery already.
Okay, you want to
Okay.
put it on charge?
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
So
Okay, start over again.
in the summer of 2012, I decided that I wanted to put a bunker in out at a ranch that I had leased from a friend of mine out far west Texas, Balmorhea area. I had 7 sections out there, 7 square miles, and I've been around guns my whole life. My family collected them. I've collected them, and I just really wanted a place to put all my guns and food and ammo and just prepping, you know, like everybody, you know, tries to do. Well, I made the mistake of calling Clyde Scott, and I tell you what, that was one of the biggest mistakes of my life. Roughly, I lost 5 years of my life and close to $1.5 million on a total deal after it's all said and done. But I called Clyde and Gary Lynch came out to the ranch, and I mean, it was kind of weird because I called them, and the next day they wanted to come out there like they knew something. So anyway, they came out.
Well, did they come out there? They want to sell you a bunker, or
Yeah. Well, I mean,
okay,
they came out there.
they just want to get on the money.
Yeah, they wanted to get
Well,
out there.
it was like 2012 was like their very beginning.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they were hustling then, but they came out and, you know, I had all my guns out that I'd been shooting different ones, and I had some stuff that was papered with the ATF, and I had some that wasn't, that I built over the years that, you know, just what I do as a hobby and everything. And
What was that exactly?
as far as what I built,
What were you doing with the guns?
Oh, just out there entertaining myself, practicing. I did a lot of long-range shooting. I've got over 100 hours of sniper training, 35 years of weapons and tactics, and I train people for the county sheriff's department. I've done a lot of stuff in law enforcement to help people, and they came out and saw some of the guns that I had out, and I let them shoot some. And before it was over, he saw my horse trailer out there too. Said his girls were wanting to barrel race, and that's what I had the trailer for. I had 11 quarters in there. My daughter was in college and she had been barrel racing, but wanted to buy my trailer, and let him shoot some. I let him shoot a full auto M16 that I built, and then I had a Chris Vector that I silenced. It had a dummy can on it, and I made it where it actually worked. Well, I sold him a M16, a full auto, unpapered.
Who did you sell the M16 to?
To Clyde.
You sold to Clyde?
Yeah, Gary was with him. Clyde's the one that sent the money to me in the mail, but I sold him 10 shape charges and 10 pieces of det cord and 10 blasting caps to set those off. A shape charge is a cone of copper wrapped in RDX explosives, and when it fires, the cone inverts and it shoots a stream of copper out at 5 miles a second. I shot through 5 steel plates, 1-inch steel plates, while he was out there. From that moment on, after they left, I made a deal with him for the trailer and on the guns and explosives. He gathered up all that stuff and took off, and 4 days later, I got a FedEx with $25,000 in it in cash.
For what?
$19,000 for the trailer and $6,000 for the 2 guns and explosives.
He bought 2 guns?
Yeah.
That were fully automatic?
The Chris Vector wasn't fully automatic. It's a 45 caliber, but I had silenced it, so it made it illegal.
And then the M16 was
full auto. It had drop-in.
But was it M16 or was it an AR converted?
It was an AR that I had, and the only difference between the M16 and an AR is the trigger parts, the bolt carrier, and the sear. The sear is what slows the hammer down for the bolt to shut so it can fire continuously.
Were they legal guns?
No.
Okay.
They were ones that I built. They were not papered.
Okay, so he bought an illegal suppressed Chris Vector and an AR-15
that was full auto.
It's illegal to do that. You know that.
Yeah, no, I know that. And like I said, I had some stuff that was papered with the ATF, and my thinking then was, they've already checked me out 5 or 6 times. It wasn't a big deal to me. I didn't think anything about it, and I thought if anybody had any questions, they'd come to me and ask me. That's the way we do it out in West Texas. If you.
But you can't do that legally, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, you
I
go
know.
to
That's why I was out in the middle of nowhere by myself. I've been selling guns to the cartel and stuff. I would expect to be in trouble, But this was all my personal stuff that I was checking out, making sure it all worked good, and I was going to put it in the ground and be done.
As long as you take that off your gun, it's probably legal. But if you leave it on the gun, that's illegal.
Well, I took the sears out of the M16s when the ATF got them. They still considered them full autos, even with the 16 trigger parts, but it wouldn't cycle because it didn't have the sear in there. But they said I had 19 full autos, and I really didn't know how many I had. I built them over the years.
Well, this is after they raided you.
Yeah.
Well, go back to the story about. So he sent you $25,000 in cash.
Yeah.
And you sold him a bunker. When did you sell him a bunker?
I sold him the horse trailer. He left that day.
When did he sell you the bunker?
I wrote him a check that day for $75,000 or $80,000 that day, and he drove off pulling my horse trailer and with the guns and explosives. And he's a convicted felon.
You didn't know it at the time, though, did you?
No, I didn't know it at the time. I thought he was one of us. A prepper that was. Straight up and everything, but boy, was I wrong. Golly. So he got back and he sent me that money, and we talked some more on the phone, and they came back out again, said they wanted to look at a place, but what I didn't know is he had already rolled me to the FBI. He told them that I had a 40-man militia, we all dressed in matching uniforms, and they called me Colonel, which is a crock. There was only one time that a person called me Colonel, and he happened to be standing there, and it was a veteran that I know. He was a sergeant in the Marines.
Were you in the military?
No, I was on my way to the military and I was 21 years old, and I got in a street fight that I got real tore up, so I couldn't go to the military. That's why all my training's in the private sector. But he came back to the ranch, him and Gary Lynch again, and when they came back this time, they were coming back to look to see what else I had. They had already rolled me to the FBI.
But you didn't know this?
No, I didn't know that at all. And they had already started that and came back to look at more of my guns, got me to do another shape charge, brought some plates for me to shoot through, kept telling me he was going to bring me a car out there so I could blow it up, you know. And
Were they videoing or something?
no, I didn't think so at the time. But later on, when they came back in March of 2013, March the 26th, to put the bunker in, they came in and had an FBI agent on the crew with them. So the FBI had already got with him, and when
why do you think they set you up or reported you to the FBI?
Well,
I mean, it's like, why that you sell them a $250,000 bunker. I mean, they're selling you a $250,000 bunker. You're paying them. You're a good old boy. Why would they snitch on you? Why would they set you up?
After I had an investigator run Clyde's record and everything, he's got pages and pages of felonies, and I know why he did it now, because he's a snitch, man. I mean, that's how you don't go to prison. He's got at least 3 to 5 felony convictions in here and never done any time. And after they rolled me, I ended up 33 months in prison. I've never been in jail a day in my life, you know. Like I said, if I'd have been
So he's a snitch.
He is a snitch. And when I got out of prison, that was the first phone call I made, you know that. And
So do you think he's snitching on other people, or
anybody that's done business with Clyde Scott has been compromised. And one of the last things he'll ask you when he gets the bunker finished, after you get all your stuff in the bunker, take a picture. Let me see it.
he takes a picture of you in the bunker?
No, he wanted me to take a picture of all my guns in the bunker set up. So that way, the FBI knows where my bunker is, knows what's in it. So they have anybody that's done business with them is, like I said, been compromised. They know where every bunker is.
So it sounds like there's a frickin' mole. The guy who's selling the bunkers is the mole.
Oh yeah, I mean, he is the poorest excuse for a human being I've ever been around in my life. I've never been around anybody that could be that sorry and think he's a bully. I mean, only time he bullies people around is when he's got his boys with him.
I've noticed that. Yeah,
Yeah.
when he walks around with 3 guys and acts all tough.
Yeah,
But-
exactly. He tells you how he's going to whoop your ass and shit. And, you know.
Well, let me see that report there.
there you go.
Okay. On Clyde Scott and Clyde Wayne Scott, Van Zant, Texas, criminal history. All right, so let's see what he's got here. Starting in 1999, Scott has a 2015 arrest in Van Zant County. No details are available online. So I found out later that was for 5 counts of assault with a deadly weapon against 5 people. He threatens a lot of people, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
So let's go back. So starting in 2019, he got aggravated assault causing seriously bodily injury. He pled guilty. It got moved to a misdemeanor. He served 1 year unsupervised probation. Then in 2003, he got convicted for a felony theft between $20,000 and $100,000. Got 10 years probation and a $10,000 fine. Probation got reduced to 5 year. Then in Henderson County in 2004, a year later, he got aggravated assault. Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. It got dismissed. Then in 2004 again, 5 months later, he got convicted of a second theft between $20,000 and $100,000, another felony. and got convicted and got another 5 years probation. Then in 2004, it says Henderson County obstruction, relation, harm, threat. So he's threatening people, a felony threat. He got that dismissed. Then in 2009, he's got assault causing bodily injury, family violence misdemeanor. It was dismissed, it said. Then in 2015, I saw a lot more arrests than this when you first sent it to me.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's hard to pull up all the records up there, you know, when you're...
So this is just an idea. So he has a 20-year lifelong history of
Yes.
being a criminal between theft and beating people up and being a bully. Why is he not in prison? Why is he in business?
Oh, the government's using him. I mean, he's a snitch. He's nothing more than a bully. Golly, look at that
So
record there.
it's kind of like the mob. Guys are not in prison that are in the mob because they're informants for the
Yes,
government.
absolutely.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, after we got the discovery stuff for my trial, I was arrested going to a boat race in Irvine, California on May the 2nd, 2013.
After the bunker was installed?
After the bunker was installed.
So they brought the bunker out, they installed it.
Yeah, and I had a room for them at the state park for Monday through Friday. They came in, put the big bunker in, and then the second bunker was just a drive-in bunker, and they put it in the wrong place in a tank dam, and they skipped that on Wednesday night, left me holding the tag on all the rooms, and I never heard from them again. I couldn't figure out what was going on, but it wasn't long after that that I found out. You know, they brought that FBI agent in and as a excavator operator, and
Wow.
he didn't have anywhere to stay, and
That's right. You seem like a great guy, a good old boy, but it's illegal to tamper with guns. You know that.
yes, no,
Okay,
I know
so
that. I'm responsible for the things that I've done wrong, and that's not why I'm giving this. I mean, it's not about me. This is about the public, the preppers, all the general public of the United States. This guy is bad news. I mean, anybody that's done business with him has been compromised. I mean, they know where everything is and what. He's been doing this for a long time because look at his record there. I mean, golly.
Yeah.
You don't have that many felonies and not do any time.
Going to civil suits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 20, and this is just what's on this one report. Bankruptcies then 2009, divorces 2006, businesses he's had, let me see, Rising S, it's still active, Pull-Right Trailers, still active, Extreme Race Holdings, forfeited, Extreme Race Park, active, World Excavating, forfeited, CW. So, okay, and then there's his mugshot from 2015. Now that's, I guess those were what, assaults with a deadly weapon or something?
Yeah, he's nothing more than a thug, man. I mean, he ain't nothing by himself. But with
Well,
his,
now
with
you
his
understand why now you're starting to understand why I stay in California as much as I can. I'm afraid this guy's going to come over and shoot me or something. I mean, if you sold him, now what happened to the M16 that you sold him?
Well, that never came up. He kept that for himself and then rolled me the FBI. But those two weapons and those explosives never came up anywhere. He.
So you think he still has them, or?
Oh yeah, they've done something with them.
So he's a convicted felon buying illegal weapons.
Yeah, especially the explosives that I sold him. That's golly. I mean, that's
Well,
what kills a tank.
That's what kills it. Why did you have them?
I got them out of the oil field. I got them to.
Was it legal to have them?
I had applied for my destructive devices license, but I didn't have a license at the time.
So those were illegal too.
Yes. I got.
Well, that's why you went to jail. He snitched on you for having that stuff, but
Right.
But he really snitched on you because he wants brownie points with the FBI or whatever because
Yes.
he's an informant.
Yeah, I mean, when you got that many felonies and never done any time, there's something wrong. Somebody's protecting you, and that's exactly what he's doing. You know, I mean, he's operating under the cover of the FBI and telling people, telling them where the bunkers are, what's in them, and when you come across somebody like
That's fucked up.
Yeah, when you come across somebody like me that had so much stuff that he said, man, I can get a lot of my record cleared up right here where he didn't have to do any time. And
Well, I wonder why. It's like, why is this guy in business and not in jail?
well, he's protected. I mean,
So when did they arrest you? Did they just show up and arrest you, or what happened?
No, they waited till I got to the airport. I picked up the Premier Parking girl that takes your truck back to put it in.
Yeah.
I stepped out of the truck in front of the airport, had a pistol in my face, and so did the Premier Parking. The FBI said, you're under arrest, and they handcuffed me right there, paraded me through the airport, took me upstairs to an interrogation room, and started interrogating me on what I had and what I was doing. While this was going on, they raided my house with 2 SWAT teams and a bomb squad, and threw my dog in jail, put my dog in the pound, and while that was going on, I was
Put your dog in
oh
jail?
yeah, that burned me more than anything, a little corgi dog.
Did you get your? Well, where's your
Yeah.
dog now?
Oh, we've got it.
Oh, it's still alive?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's good. I was gonna
And,
say, man,
yeah.
you can mess with my guns and my bunker, don't fuck with my dog.
Yeah. But
All right, so did you? Okay, so they arrested you for what were the
Right.
charges?
I was arrested for unlicensed explosives, unlicensed full autos, and unlicensed silencers. I had 5 silencers that were papered with the ATF, and they were in a 308, a 223, 45, 9mm, and a 22 caliber. Well, most of the shooting I did was long range, so we built 3.
Now, do you live out like in the middle of the desert or something?
Yeah. The closest living person to where I was 12 miles away.
So you're out in the middle of nowhere.
Nowhere. Yeah, I'm out
So-
there entertaining myself with the weapons that I'd built and the things that I'd done.
But in America, you just can't do that.
Right.
I know.
And I understand that, and I'm responsible for the things I do, and I've never run from anything in my life, and
Yeah,
I'm
but-
not going to run from this. And
Well, I don't keep anybody's information. Now people are seeing why.
Yeah.
I don't ask their name when I ship a shelter to them.
Yeah.
I ship it to like the Walmart in the town. I don't want the address even on paperwork.
Well, that's the difference between you and him. You're a businessman and doing what's right. You have a Christian background. Clyde operates under a Christian background, supposedly, and he is, like I said, one of the poorest excuses for a person, period, that I've ever been around in my life. I've never been around anybody that is that conniving, lying, two-faced, backstabbing, you name it, that's what he is.
Was it Gary Lynch too?
Oh, Gary's his yes man, and between
Well,
the two.
I think Gary runs the place for the most part now because Clyde's
Yeah,
just
well-
not very well spoken.
Well, check this out. Before they came and put the bunker in, they were coming from Arizona, and Gary called me and said, "Hey, we're coming by the Balmorhea place, and we need somewhere to stay." So I let them stay at my ranch by themselves, and there ain't no telling what they were going through out there then. I didn't
Oh,
even
man.
think about that.
So they were both setting you up.
Oh yeah, I mean it was.
So what happened to the bunker?
Well, after they put it in, they just dropped it in. It was a 2-piece, a 10 by 50 and a 10 by 30 that attached to it. Okay, well, where it
And
attached,
it had a garage?
the garage was a totally other bunker.
It's separate from it? So
Yeah,
you could drive down into
it was a one that you could drive a vehicle in, and then it shut the door. It had a hydraulic door.
Underground?
No, it was in a tank down
Oh.
on a dirt tank. But the first time we drove a vehicle in there,
Yeah.
the door broke. So I mean that was
So do you have the bunker today?
the bunker is still in the ground out there on my friend's ranch, which Clyde threw a wrench in that. I had a lawsuit on Clyde for deceptive trade practices. Well, when it came time for mediation, we get the mediation, and it's Clyde and 2 of his thugs, and then my friend that's the ranch owner, Clyde either paid him off or bullied him. I don't know what happened on that deal, but it nullified my deceptive trade practices.
Wait.
It's not in there.
Yeah, but Clyde wouldn't threaten anybody, would he? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait. Obstruction, relation, harm, threat, felony. Okay, I guess he would.
Yeah. Well, that's the way.
So, now you mentioned something that the bunker flooded or what?
Yeah. What happened was, when they put the bunker in, they cut a water line that went to the house, a 3/4 inch water line. Well, after they got the bunker in, they just put it in, and then they teed into that water line for the water into the bunker.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they covered all that up, and the first time it rained, that bunker settled and went far deeper into the ground and pulled that PVC line and broke it, and that water just ran on top of that bunker. And where they put it together, they didn't weld it together, they bolted it together, and when it settled, it split that seam, and there was 5 or 6 foot of water in the whole thing. Everything in there was
And that happened before you were arrested or after?
after I was arrested.
Oh, so because you bailed out?
Yeah, they I didn't really bail out. They ran me through the ringer. Well, let's go back to when they were raiding my house with the 2 SWAT teams and a bomb squad. Well, they take me to my house handcuffed, and we go from there in an 8-vehicle procession to Balmerade, right 2 hours away, and get to the front gate, and there's armored personnel carrier blocking the front gate, cattle guard.
Of your ranch?
Yeah, we
An
said,
armored personnel carrier.
yeah, they had
It sounds like Waco.
exactly. They had 2 helicopters, armored personnel carrier, 4 SWAT teams, a bomb squad, and all they got was 8 horses and a donkey. There was no militia. There was none of that.
So he made up a story about a militia?
I did extra time for that story on my PSI, my pre-sentencing report. All that stuff was in there, and that added points to my sentence. So I did extra time for that lie right there.
Because they thought you were a violent militia?
They labeled me as a terrorist, is what he had. And I race boats for all our veterans and our fighting forces. My dad is a World War II vet.
Hold on, you gave me you
Yeah,
gave
it's
you
the
gave me
other
this
card.
flyer here, and what's that say there on the bottom?
It's the other card.
Oh, it's the other card.
You want me to grab it?
Yeah, grab it real quick.
Okay.
Good God, man. He's a good old boy. Rising S, Clyde Scott, Gary Lynch, you scum fucking bags. Putting a guy like that in jail. You know what? Keep your frickin' mouth shut. All right.
There you go.
What now? This is dedicated to all veterans and fighting forces who answer the call.
Yeah, that's who I race for. All our vets and our fighting forces. I hire vets. I've got 2 vets that work for our company that are on the boat crew. These 2 guys right here. He did 3 tours. He did 7, 4 combat and 3 logistic. And that's who I race for, is our vets and our fighting forces. And
How do they feel about what happened to you?
oh man, I mean, they couldn't believe what happened. I mean, everybody in West Texas was going, what is going on, you know, because anybody that knows me, my family's been in that area for over 100 years. They helped settle that country, and
he couldn't have just kept his mouth shut.
no, I mean that's what burns me. I mean, golly, if it was that easy to do to me,
Well,
he's done it to everybody else.
I don't know if anyone else has gone to jail, but it's like, I've sold bunkers to a lot of people. I don't ask any questions.
No.
I don't ask their names. I don't want to see the bunker in the ground, and I couldn't take the feds to the bunkers anyway because the way I do it. You see, that's the thing. They boast about they put in all the bunkers. Why do you think they want to put in all the bunkers instead of letting a local sub do it to where no one knows where it's at?
Yeah.
You
And-
think they're doing that so they can?
Oh yeah, I mean everything that he does, there's a reason for it, and being hands-on like that, so he can see everything that you got. They took over 100 of my weapons, over 100,000 rounds of ammo.
So you can't even own a gun now.
No,
You're
I mean,
a felon.
Yep.
Can you have a crossbow or archery?
Yeah, air rifle, crossbow, certain.
Well,
black-
that's that must suck. That must be like getting your balls cut off, not be
Oh,
able to shoot
yeah.
guns.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's all I did was train people on long-range shooting, and expert with thermal imaging. I've had him thermal for 15 years when they first came out in the military. But like I said, I train a lot of people. I trained a lot of people for law enforcement. But
So you were telling me earlier about the bunker, that you don't have access to the bunker now.
no, after Clyde either threatened him or paid him off, one of the two, I have no access to get any of my stuff back. I mean, not only the bunker, but all the stuff that I did on the ranch. I did over $120,000 worth of improvements to this ranch, and
So you put the bunker on leased land.
right. And do you think I'd put $250,000 worth of stuff on somebody's land that didn't know what was going on? No.
No. So you don't
and-
have your bunker. Where'd the other money? You said you lost $1.5 million. Was that attorney's fees?
Oh yeah, golly. I mean,
How long were they threatening to put you in jail for?
30 years. 30 years and $30,000 fine. Well,
And what did you end up with?
I pled out. I pled guilty to 1 count of an unregistered silencer, and they dropped the explosives and the full auto. So I had 10 years. I was looking at 10 years and a $10,000 fine. Well, my lawyer, I got one of the best out there, Brett Stallcup out of Dallas, and yeah, it cost me a bunch of money, but we whittled the 10 years down to 56 to 33 months. And
So what kind of prison was it? Was it like a hardcore prison or?
oh man, I couldn't have picked a worse place. Big Springs is close to Midland, which
So they put you in with the violent people?
Big Springs is a disciplinary prison. Every idiot at every other prison that gets in trouble, they send them there to punish them, and it's the same way with the guards. And it was terrible. I mean, 900 people is what the prison was built for, and there were 1,700 people when I got there, and I was on the top 10 most. Of course, this one split open, was filled up with water, and then they.
Well, how was it made? You said it had a plastic hatch, and they just put dirt on top of it.
Yeah, and then all the air vents and stuff were all PVC, and I mean the way that he did it was really chicken shit, you know. At the time, I wasn't sure exactly what it was supposed to look like, but you know, now that I've educated myself, yeah, I see all the things that were done wrong, and he just threw that stuff in the ground and peeled out of there because he knew what was going to happen to me.
And how'd you pay him?
The first time I wrote him a check for $75,000 or $80,000, and the second time when they came out, he requested that I pay him the rest in cash, and I paid him over $100,000 in cash. And
Did you pay any sales tax on that shelter?
No, and that's what he was doing. You know, he's
So he was tax evasion there.
yeah, big time. I mean, that's just on.
Well, his ex-employee, Bradley, whatever his name was, he told me that he had $800,000 in cash in the safe, and he went and deposited it in the bank. I'm like, what kind of idiot deposits $800,000 in cash in the bank? Now, I don't know if that's true. That's just what the guy told me, but that means that he's trying to do as much. But you know what? Someone who has a lifelong criminal history, they try to beat the system on everything. They cheat, they swindle, they don't pay taxes, they cut corners.
Yeah,
But selling bunkers in the name of Jesus Christ. Now you said something about you saw some tattoos on his arm.
Yeah, lightning bolt stuff. I mean, that's all.
Well, what does lightning bolt stuff mean?
All the Aryan Brotherhood or the double lightning bolts, and my brand is the Light O. It's a circle with a lightning bolt through it, and they were trying to peg me as a AB, Aryan Brotherhood, and I was like, no.
Well, who had the?
That was what was on my guns.
Who had the? You said you thought you saw lightning bolts tattoos on.
That was on Clyde's. He has a bunch of tats. I mean, and
are you sure they were lightning bolts?
what I saw was, yeah.
And that represents.
Well, that's white supremacy.
So he's really the one that's probably in the militia.
Absolutely. I mean, he's out there operating in the name of our Father, and that's really why I'm wanting to tell my story, because I have to go on with my life. I can't sit here and worry about what I'm going to do to him, because I'm going to let it go, but God's not going to let it go, and he will be punished for what he's done.
Well, there's a special place in hell for people like that.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't deserve to breathe the air that we're...
Well, he's made himself very wealthy, taking people's money, selling them those bunkers with the. Now, I went out and saw one in Minnesota that belonged to a lady, and it's the exact same thing on his website that he shows as a tornado shelter, identical, except he put in a homemade air system made out of plastic, and he told her it was a fallout shelter, bomb shelter, but it had the same plastic PVC air pipes, had the same roofing hatch, the same stairs. He put a door down inside there that he calls bulletproof because it's made out of cord. But guess what he puts on there? Schlage household locks. And you know what? But it turns out that about 70% of people who buy bunkers are ladies, and they're vulnerable. There's three people you should trust, and who are those three people? Well,
Yourself.
for me, you should trust the Lord.
Yep.
You should trust your doctor.
Yep.
You should trust your minister, and you should trust the person who you buy a bunker from, because you're really counting on him to save your family and people.
And it's supposed to be confidential too, and that's
Oh.
not what it was. You know, everything that he said was not what it was.
So you realize this video, this testimonial, is going to be very damaging to him.
Yeah, you know, and he deserves it. And like I said, it's not because I want to see him damaged. It's because of the American public. I mean, the people out there are getting duped by him every day, and there's no telling how much money he's making and how much.
There's a NBC has a story, and it has this picture. I'll show it right here. It says bomb builder making millions selling shelters to people afraid of Trump, and then here he's boasting. So when I see this picture of him right there, this is what I say. This is how I feel. That's what a white supremacist, militia, ignorant, redneck, piece of crap felon looks like.
Yeah.
He just fits the bill. He's the poster child for bad behavior.
Yeah, and those weapons and explosives that he got from me, they're in his little militia stuff.
Well, I hope he doesn't come after me or you for this video.
Well, yeah. Anything happens to me, go look for Clyde Scott, I'll tell you.
No, me, same here.
You know, and that's the way he operates. When this comes out, I'm sure I'm going to get some phone calls and stuff. But
You know what? If it's 100% true,
yeah, I mean, I have nothing to hide. I'm actually embarrassed that I got duped like that. You know, I thought I had more sense than that. You know, but I trusted somebody that was untrustworthy. You know, and I didn't know what his motives were, but I sure do now. Well, after spending that time in prison.
Well, in 2012, let me go on this police report here. In 2012, criminal history. Well, this report isn't complete. This is basically up to 2005, and then there's 2015. So this isn't a complete report here.
The first.
But this mugshot here is 2015, and of course I guess that's him in 2006, 5 maybe. Doesn't even look like him there, but I don't. Maybe he's fatter, but that's definitely him right there.
Yeah.
And then there's a picture of his family, but that's Clyde Scott right there, the owner of Rising S. And of course, I told you this. You know, I've only talked to you one or two times, and I actually wasn't gonna do this, but I have my own reasons now because I feel the American public needs to know the truth too.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I'm sitting here talking to you. Like I said, it's not about what happened to me, but the American public needs to know what's going on with this guy, because he is anybody that's done business with him is compromised. I mean, that's all I can say. And he is the worst person I've ever been around in my life, and that's including the prison time.
Well, you know, I've never met Clyde Scott. I've never met Gary Lynch. I've talked to Gary Lynch on the phone a few times, and it's always because he's doing something what's called unfair business practice.
Sure.
Like, why are you doing this? You can't be using my name and advertising with my name above my name to use my name. He's actually using my name to sell bunkers, acting like it's like the best Atlas shelters made, but it's Rising S or better than Atlas, just doing things like that's unfair business practice. And why haven't I done nothing? It costs a lot of money to defend that.
Oh, yeah.
And these guys apparently they have a relative or somebody that's an attorney. So they just call Uncle Sue or Aunt Jane or whatever, and they got that inside deal. But the fact that he hasn't really served any jail time for that many felonies.
Yeah, well, the first investigator that I had, well, my lawyer got him when we went to court.
You signed that one for me, I see.
Yes, sir.
To Ron, may you always have smooth water. That's cool, thank you. I just noticed that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you know, that's... I get to do a lot of good things in racing that have nothing to do with
racing. You're pretty much kind of celebrity. You know, there's a rumor that he did a bunker for Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. It's like, well, I mean, it's all over the news, but, you know, I see on their website, they do these, like, sometimes they do $1 million bunker. Somebody will spend a bunch of money, and it has a staircase that's coming straight down at a 45-degree angle, and all these plastic air pipes coming up out of the ground.
Yeah.
And it's like there's no steel air pipes, there's no 90-degree turn, there's no airtight doors, and he puts that little air system all over that. But how loud was that air system?
I never got to turn it on. I mean, I got the bunker got put in the ground. I put my stuff in it, and the next thing I know, I'm arrested. And when we went in the 8-vehicle procession to Balmorhea, like I said, the armored personnel carrier and blocking the front gate, and they couldn't get it in reverse. We sit out there for an hour for them to figure out how to put it in reverse to get it out of the way.
The armored tank carrier?
Yeah, the armored personnel carrier.
Oh.
And the whole time there's two choppers flying around, and like I said, 4 SWAT teams and
So
a
they
bomb
made
squad.
they treated you like Waco.
Oh yeah, I mean, and there's no telling how much money they wasted that day.
What did you say? Something you told me on the phone. I remember something about the FBI agent called and said if he could come by and help you move the guns or something.
Right. After that, they put the bunker in. The guy that came in with them, that was the equipment operator.
That was the undercover FBI agent.
Yes, called me during the week. Hey, you need some help putting the rest of that stuff in there? You know, I don't got anything going on. I'd really like to come out and help you, you know. And golly, I should have caught that then. But
And you let him?
yeah, because when he came out there, he didn't have anywhere to stay, and I let him stay at the ranch house with us. That's
But it was all set up.
yeah. I mean, you know, and that's just because the way that I am. I gave him a place to stay.
So I brought this up to Gary, to Lynch, and I said, you know, I hear you're a snitch. Oh, you don't know the truth of that story. I mean, how does he defend that other than they wanted brownie points or because Gary Lynch, as far as I know, Gary Lynch doesn't have any police record.
No.
Clyde has a lifelong one, but
Yeah.
but I guess they're snakes in the grass together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been 5 years for me to be able to talk about it because I've been in prison and been on probation. They knew I wasn't going to say anything.
When did you get off probation?
May the 19th of 2018. That's when I was done with everything.
Okay, so what's the date you sent me that text? Do you still have it in your phone?
Yeah.
I have a copy of it on my phone, but I don't remember the date. But
it was after I got off of probation.
So it was about a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
waited till I was clean and clear, and I talked to my lawyer and stuff, and.
Well, you understand why I didn't do anything with it because I didn't know anything, and then I started hearing about Clyde was a criminal, and but these guys have been trying to destroy me and everybody. They want all the business for themselves, like there's some cartel thing, and they want all the shelter business, and they want everybody out of business.
Absolutely.
So they created this website. And, you know, like I told you, they created a website called The Bunker Truth where they try to destroy it. But on their own website, they put concrete, they put steel, they put any type of bunker other than theirs, and what's wrong with it. So your conclusion, if you look at their website, was you can only buy their bunker because history has it wrong. Only their brand new technology of making a square box is the only thing that will save your life, and all it is a tornado shelter with a homemade air system in it.
Yeah.
And they have sold millions of dollars of it, and you know why? From what I see, Gary Lynch is a smooth-talking, slick. I mean, that guy is a salesman.
Yep.
He is a slick talker. Now, I don't think Clyde is, because I think he has from what I see, because I never met him, but I had talked to him one time. Let me tell you my story. So I'm driving back from Canada goose hunting in like 2012. I get a phone call, and I don't know really anything about Rising S because he's just starting up. And I get a phone call. It comes from a 214 area code or something, some Dallas area code. And I wait a couple hours. I go, this guy called me. He just wanted to know how to hook up batteries and how to do this stuff. I'm like, I know what my customers sound like. I go, that was a very suspicious call. So I call it back. I go, oh, I'm sorry. Who did I call? He goes, Rising S. I go, why would you call me and act like you're a customer? And he's like, you know, whatever. And then I saw him at one of the prepper shows, and I caught him in my bunker when I went to the bathroom. He ran in there with his 3 goons, and he runs out laughing and stuff. He's just a goon.
Yeah, well, he's real tough when he's got all his boys with him and stuff. And
he always has his boys with him.
Yeah. That just shows you what a wuss he really is.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how he gets his business done is through bullying, extortion, whatever you want to call it. I mean, golly, when you're up against something like that and it's just you, 4-on-1 is not what I consider good odds, you know. So
Yeah.
that's what it was with me.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure karma will have a way of getting back at this guy. You know what? I mean, I would think the tax people need to investigate this guy. But if he's a snitch, he probably gets out that way.
I mean, he's.
But that's going to come to an end now.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said, I'm actually, you know, this is the first time I've ever told this whole story, and myself, I'm actually embarrassed that I got caught up in something like this, that I didn't have more sense and got duped like this, and I just don't want the American public to get duped like that. I mean, golly, I lost 5 years of my life, and man, my reputation, they tried to tear my life completely apart. I mean, they went through my life with a fine-tooth comb. I had the ATF, the FBI, and the Secret Service, because Clyde told them that I had mentioned something about Obama at the time, so.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean,
Clyde lied on top of everything.
oh, yeah, and you know, the 40-man militia and the matching uniforms, and they all call me Colonel, which is the biggest crock I've ever heard. I mean, golly, I didn't even go to the military, you know.
All right, well, you know, is there anything you want to add to this? Because this video is getting pretty long, and I think people get the point. And,
Well,
you know, now, Rising S is going to come back, and they're going to say, well, that's just a disgruntled person, and,
Sure.
and they did the right thing by turning you in because that's their right. So, you
Yeah,
know,
so I was in the wrong for having the things that I had, but they bought those things from me, and they.
well, that's the thing.
Yeah, he needs to do
But
his
what
time.
what happened when you told the police that you sold them that, and they're like, we don't know about that?
No, it was only after I was in prison that they had another ATF agent from El Paso, which was a good guy, came to prison to talk to me, and I told him all that stuff, and he was looking into it, but it never transpired anything.
Well, I'm sure Clyde got rid of it.
Oh yeah, I mean.
He'd be in there. You know what? I did a video last week. Did you see the video where I cut up my bump stocks?
No.
No. See, I don't see somebody like Clyde's the kind of guy that would set somebody up. He would plant drugs, plant a gun to get rid of
Oh, yeah.
somebody because he's that kind of criminal. And that's why I stay away from Texas until this man's dealt with. You know?
Yeah.
He's bad news.
And I'm subjecting myself to maybe the same thing, you know, from him. But
Yeah.
this is something that I need to get off of my back so I can carry on with the rest of my life, because I just, golly, I can't believe that somebody can do that and be protected by our government and be so underhanded and nasty and slick and just a thug and a snitch. That's all he is a glorified snitch. And when I talked to him on the phone, he tried to convince me that he was actually an agent. He said, every time you call me, I have to do a report. So that's impersonating a federal agent right there, you know.
He's a piece of shit. Well, let me set up the phone over here and close this up. All right, so anyway, guys, I hope I'm in the camera there, but I'll put some copies of this report that was done by, now this private investigator was 29 years in the FBI, he said. So, and
Yeah,
So-
he still didn't catch some of the stuff that the first investigator caught right after.
well, I saw like 20 arrests or something. I
Yeah.
even saw like theft of cattle or
oh
livestock.
yeah. There was one arson for profit.
Arson for profit?
Yeah, stealing ATVs over 20,000 and less than 100,000, and then stealing cattle, and that's a hanging offense in West Texas. You know.
Wow, that's probably why he has that cattle trailer. I mean, that
Oh,
makes
yeah.
sense. He have a cattle trailer, so he's a goddamn cattle rustler too,
There you go.
or something like that.
I
You know,
would-
somebody
not-
did that on our ranch, and it was another rancher's daughter. You know, I mean, who else
Yeah.
can I say? Yeah, she was a kind of a cowgirl, and she got some big time trouble for that. And this is back in 1979.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so,
the fact of the matter is, I'm accountable for the things that I've done, and he needs to be accountable for the things that he's doing.
well, you know, he doesn't need to get rich off other
No.
people's. From what I've seen, guys, his bunker sucks. Okay, there is a better bunker for the same amount of money. Listen, I'm not making this video to profit. I'm making this video is because so many people have come to me now from Colorado, from Texas, from Minnesota. Their stories are piling up on this guy. He's a bad hombre.
yeah.
If you want to do business with this guy, knock yourself out. Why anybody would, I have not a clue. Okay? There are lots of people that have been in this industry for a lot longer that you guys can find to do your shelter and that will keep their mouths shut.
Yeah.
Okay? But dealing with a lifelong criminal like that, I wouldn't have done business with him. And would you have done business with him if you'd known he was like this?
Golly, no.
You see, that's the thing. And this is why Gary Lynch is the way he is. He tries to get stuff to blackmail you so you don't say stuff about it. And then they go out and get all these certificates on their website. They create this incredible website. So it's like smoke and mirrors.
Right.
So this is what they do. They spend all their time and effort creating a great website and not creating a great product.
There you go.
So you're fooled by it because, well, how can you not have such a great website and then your product not be great? Hey, listen, I'm sure there's nothing wrong with the welding and stuff, but they don't care to make it the best bunker they can. They just want to put in a tornado shelter. From what I've seen, they're putting in tornado shelters, and with homemade air systems. And this guy Bradley or whatever his name, Bradley Robertson or whatever, he told me that their air system only cost him like $400. I mean, these air systems I put in, they cost like $10,000, $8,000, $7,000. Come from Switzerland and Israel. They're real military grade with manual crank. So if you lose the power in your bunker, you don't have a way to operate their air system unless you put a little hand bellow. Can you imagine sitting there bellowing to stay alive? It's a joke.
Well, they just threw mine in the ground and, like I said, skipped out in the middle of the night because they knew what was going to happen to me.
So do you think they purposely not put it in the ground right?
Oh, yeah. They didn't do the proper work to put it in right. Like I said, put one of them in the wrong place.
So when you were bailed out, did you get to go see the bunker? Is that when it was full of water?
I didn't get to go anywhere for 60 days. I was 17 days. I was chained to the floor above the courthouse in Odessa, and then
they really did treat you like a terrorist.
Oh yeah.
Well, if they listened to Clyde Scott, and they said if he said what you said he said, he said you were head of a militia. They called you colonel.
Yeah. Matching uniforms.
And that's just a made-up story.
Yes.
100% made up.
Absolutely.
Well,
I mean, golly.
So, you see, this is what scares me about this guy. There's nothing he won't do to cheat or win, and people need to be scared of him as well as you and me.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm probably gonna have to walk around with bodyguards now.
Right now, we just put ourselves in harm's way telling you this story, but it's something that needs to be said.
I mean.
And, you know,
so
for my own conscience, I have to do this. I have to get this off my back.
You know, I mean, I'm not a big ass tough guy. I may have guns and everything, but I abide by the law. I have no misdemeanors. I have no felonies. I have no trouble with the law. I have no DUIs. I'm just a good old guy that's never been in trouble. But when you're competing against a guy he has no problem buying a fully illegal automatic weapon while he's on probation or a felon. It means he's not afraid of the law. He doesn't care. And he will do, and you said arson for profit?
Yeah.
Well, then this is the kind of guy that would come burn my building down, plant drugs, or try to bait me to get me in trouble to take me out.
You know, and
I have to worry about this.
And what he did to me, you know, knowing that I'm versed in explosives, long-range weapons, full autos and everything, and he doesn't really know my capabilities, but he knew that I was going to prison, so he wasn't going to have to worry about me.
Well,
you know,
but he didn't know for how long you're going to prison, did he?
No, it started out 30 years.
So he thought you'd never hear from me again.
No, he thought I'd never see the day, never see
So
another
what do you
day.
think their excuse is going to be why they did what they did? They're like, Gary's like, well, you don't know the story.
Yeah.
So they're going to make it sound like they're heroes.
Yes.
Reporting a potential terrorist.
Yeah, when they were buying illegal guns and explosives from me, I mean, what happened to y'all's stuff, man? Where's your stuff?
Yeah. Well,
So you need to do your time too. You know, like I said, I'm accountable.
Well, why
for
is
the
he?
things.
Why? I just don't understand why he's not in jail.
He's protected by our government. That's all there is to
Oh,
it.
God.
He's
Well-
providing them with information, and they're keeping him out of prison. I've never seen anybody with that many felonies on their record and never done any time.
You know, in California, they have a 3-strike rule. 3 felonies, you're a lifer. And this guy's walking the street, making millions selling bunkers to old ladies that don't know the difference between a tornado shelter and a bomb shelter.
Yep, that's exactly
And
right.
then putting down the competition at the same time. This is what I have to deal with. And you know what? He did a good job like cutting off my bit. I don't know what he did to me to where my phone just wouldn't ring and I wouldn't get any emails. I don't know what he did, but would you put it past him to hire
No.
somebody to hack me? And
Oh no, that's right up his alley, man. I mean, that's why do you think he has all that cash? Is to pay people off to do the things
well, that's
that
right.
he needs done.
If he had 800,000, yeah, he's got the money to pay people
Yeah.
off and have things done. So
that's why everything got
well,
go his way.
you know, guys, so I'm going to probably end it here, but, you know, I'm going to be looking over my back for a while when this comes out, and rightly so. So if anything ever happens to me, I want the
Me
police
too.
and the FBI to check out Clyde Scott, because, you know, he's the only person in the world that would want retaliation.
Yeah.
And I will see what will happen. But you know what? This is a trial in the public opinion from a man that I've
Yeah.
never met before till today, that seems like a great guy, that's
Yeah,
a celebrity,
I've
that
never-
is a good guy, that works with our veteran forces, that, you know, of course,
Yeah.
what he did was wrong. The lesson, that the moral of the story is, don't be fucking with your guns and making them fully automatic and making your own suppressors. That's illegal. If you
Yeah.
have a class 5 or whatever permit, you could have
Yeah.
done that legally. Why
Yeah,
don't you,
well,
why don't you just get the license to do that legally?
You can't get a license on a gun that you build. It has to be built.
Well, but if you're a certain type of gunsmith, you can do these things.
Yeah, if you're a certain type of gunsmith, but each gun, each silencer has a separate piece of paper.
I know, but if you're class 1 or class 2 or class 3, that means you can build these things. and
class 2
experiment.
is silencers. Class 3 is.
Well, you
full
should have
auto.
done that. But in hindsight,
Yeah.
you know what? Hindsight, you should have. But
Yeah, well, I mean, if I was building them and selling them to the cartel and stuff, yeah, I would have expected that. But this was something that's been a hobby my lifelong.
oh, did he say you're selling them to the cartel or something?
No.
You know,
I mean,
I imagine he's going to do some kind of retribution and come back and go, oh, that's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
That guy was head of a militia. He was a terrorist in waiting, and we saved America.
yeah, it's exactly what he's gonna say, and
Well,
That's-
you know what? But this is not the only man with a story.
no.
There's a lot of people probably out there, and Clyde Scott and Gary Lynch has a way of trying to silence you people. And then when they can find dirt on anybody else, they try to make it as public as possible. Okay? So I have no doubt he's going to go try to find somebody who's bought a bunker, did it themselves. Keep in mind, guys, if I sell you a bunker and you put it in yourself and it fails, it's not the bunker's fault. It's no different than buying an air conditioner, putting it in the window, and it falls out the window because you didn't mount it right. There's nothing wrong with the air conditioners. You didn't mount it right. So it's the same thing with anything in life. You don't install it right, whether it's a car part, air conditioner, or a bunker, you know, but they have to use what they can get to try to make themselves look good and make others look bad. So, guys,
Yeah.
this isn't one that you enjoy, but you know what? Share it. Let people know about Clyde Scott, Gary Lynch at Rising S. If they want to change their ways and become honest businessmen, what are the odds of that happening?
Very slim. And you know, like I said, this is the first time that I've told my story, and I'm doing it because the American public needs to know what's going on with this guy. And
I tell you what.
don't get around him. Don't do business with him.
Well, Gary Lynch is going to double talk all this and make it sound like, oh, we're out to do whatever. No, guys, I've sat on this for at least a year.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy sent this to me a year ago. The lady in Minnesota was a year ago, May 8th, a year ago. And it's like people have called me about it, and I've done nothing with them. So it's not like I have this big, giant thing. But, guys, I'm fighting for my life, and bad people need to be called out. And now I have a YouTube channel, and you guys look up to me to bring you the truth and the honest.
Yeah.
And there's a snitch, there's a mole in our industry, and there's a bad guy, and we need to let people know. And if you want to do business with him, that's fine. It's
Yeah.
a free business trade. But you got to know the truth. Do your background check on Clyde Scott. What's his birthday? Well, you can just Google it. It's Clyde Scott. Clyde Wayne Scott, I guess is what it is.
Yeah, he's got 2 AKAs.
Born at 10/20.
Yeah, he's got 2 date of births on
I noticed
there.
why is there 2 date of birth? And they're going to say, well, that's not his record. That's what Gary's going to say.
Yeah.
I heard Gary. He goes, that's not his record. Well, then how do you explain all his mugshots?
How do you get 2 dates of birth? And I don't know.
Well, you know what? He's living a double life. So, guys, you know what? I hope I don't have to ever make a video like this
Yeah.
again. But, guys, I love you. Thanks for watching. God
This
bless
is the
you.
only time you'll ever hear this from me, and the truth is what came out of my mouth, and you need to know it. Watch out.
All right, guys. So we're finished up. Let's see if we got a fish down here.
Yeah.
Man, I feel really bad for you, but I also feel afraid for you, and I feel afraid for myself.
Yeah, that's
I know we're dealing with a dirty, rotten scoundrel and a criminal, and the goose is still there. We didn't catch another fish.
yeah, no, we're
Look at that goose. She's still sitting there. She's looking at me.
yeah.
So what's it like to sit on a nest? Oh, she's hissing at me. Yeah, you don't like that. Yeah, I just had to do that.
Yeah.
You don't see where I'm at. You don't see geese sitting on nests.
Yeah,
And,
her boyfriend's not here jumping on you.
Yeah, where is her boyfriend? Is he swimming around?
Around somewhere.
But she's got to eat.
He's probably out at the bar or something.
Well, Steve, I appreciate you.
Yeah, well, Ron, thank you for coming out.
No problem. I'm sorry it took so long, but you know, I wasn't going to do anything with this story.
Yeah, it's a long
And
time coming.
but I see that it's worse now than what I'm up against, because he didn't only mess with you, he's messing with other people, he's messing with me, and God only knows who else out there. So guys, if you're out there and Rising S is messing with you or causing you problems, make a comment below, or maybe even send me an email.
And there's gonna be some of y'all out there that's gonna be like me. They're embarrassed to have been done like that, but people need to know, you know. I mean, and that's why I'm talking with Ron today. It's just it's a criminal act doing that, you know.
Well,
golly.
And on the flip side, they're going to say, well, you were a criminal by doing that with the guns. What you did was wrong. You've admitted to that. You're a gun novice. You like to play with your guns. I'm sure a lot of people do, but you can't leave those guns illegally set up.
Right.
But the fact that they took your money,
Oh yeah.
your bunker flooded, they put you in prison, they lied about you, they made you out to be a terrorist, and all to make themselves look good.
Exactly.
And you know what? And that's how they do their business today. They do the same thing. They make everyone look bad to try to make themselves look good.
That's a terrible way to do business at the expense of other people's lives.
But they're doing it to me too. They're doing it to others. They did it to you. Well, I'm going to hit the road here, guys. And so spread this message. Share this video. I know it was a long one, but this is a man's confession about how Clyde Scott, Gary Lynch, and Rising S Bunkers in Texas, in Murchison, Texas, ruined his life. That was Steve Pruitt, and that was his story, and I thank you for staying through this video the entire time. Like I said, that just sucks, man. And I don't know what to do. We've got a bad group of guys in our industry, and they're attacking everybody in the industry. They're doing their pay-per-clicks above me and every other person that does this. Anybody they can, they're attacking. But we really are scared of these guys. I mean, they will stoop to no level. And this Clyde Scott guy, apparently he likes to walk around with he likes to threaten people when he has all his thugs around. So, you know, we're going to have to protect ourselves moving forward, because we don't know what this guy is capable of. But guys, if you like this video, or if you find it disturbing, share it among the other preppers and let them know that there's a snitch in this business, and it's just wrong. I would never done what these guys did. I don't care. I mean, you would have to be a damn terrorist for me to snitch on you. Okay, I know I'm not even snitching on the snitch. I've had this video not this video, but I've had this story for a year, and I haven't snitched on it. And I'll tell you what, those guys are selling a ton of bunkers because they advertise, they shut the other people out. They want it all. I feel like we're in business against a drug cartel, and they just want to get rid of the competition, and they want all the drug business for themselves. That's what it feels like, seriously. I mean, they're just selling bunkers left and right with their PVC air pipes and their homemade air systems and their thin tin hatches. I mean, which is just all bad. Matter of fact, I hope we showed some of their shelter stuff. Guys, compare. Do your comparison. I'll do another video showing the difference between Atlas and Rising S. Apples to apples. And one thing about me, I'm very fair, okay, and honest, okay? So guys, love you. God bless. Do what you want with this video. Share it, like I said, but damn it. This sucks, okay, knowing I have to be in business against people like this. But guys, I love you. I'll see you on the next video.